Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, WWE fans are divided over a major SummerSlam controversy. We've got an update on Roman Reigns losing the WWE Undisputed Universal title. After that, we're going to talk about the major unplanned moment that happened at SummerSlam last night. And then to wrap things up, we will talk about the former WWE title holder returning to the company as soon as this week. Perhaps, if you're starting the week on a Sunday. Otherwise, I guess it's technically next week. Anyway, I'm Andy from What Culture. Andrew Pollard, not here today. He's enjoying some well-deserved time off, so shout outs to him. And sorry to you guys for having to put up with this mug on a Sunday. Now, we should say SummerSlam just happened a few hours ago. It's going to form the basis for the majority of this video. There's going to be some big-ass spoilers all over the place. In fact, that's kind of one of them already, so maybe I'm doing this a bit late. But if you've not seen SummerSlam yet and you want to preserve as much of the show as you can, maybe hit this one on pause and come back to it after you've seen it. But with that in mind, let's jump into this story here. Right, the SummerSlam main event finish, the way the show ended, we got to talk about this. Tribal Combat, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, you know the drill, undisputed title, new tribal chief, all of that jazz. Yeah, it ended in controversy. It was a shenanigan-filled dramatic affair, as you've come to expect from Roman's big title matches. There's lots of melodrama, lots of big acting and stuff. It's kind of what's made this reign what it is. And it's kind of in line with the big segments we've had building up to them. But the way this match played out was that in the end, Jimmy Uso betrayed Jey Uso and cost Jey the opportunity to win. Jey appeared to have it wrapped up. He hit a spear on Roman, came off the top with the Uso splash. He was pinning him when a hooded figure pulled him out of the ring. And who was it? It was Jimmy, of course. F you, Jimmy chants going all the way around the arena. Jimmy hit a super kick on Jey. That was enough for Roman to hit a spear through a table in the corner while Jey was like, what the hell just happened? And take the win, retain the title. He's still the tribal chief, all of that stuff. And it's getting a pretty interesting reception all around the world. Now, I think when a lot of people signed onto the internet or whatever social media platform you used this morning, you might have seen some particularly strong negative reactions to this, but I decided before jumping in the studio today that I was going to poll you guys, the average What Culture viewer, to see what you really think. So, I ran a poll on our Twitter account, and as you can see, broadly negative, coming in about 68% thumbs down for the finish, and about 32 thumbs up, at least at the time I took the screenshot. Maybe it's a bit different on your screen here. YouTube community as well. We polled you guys over there, and it's almost identical. Thumbs down 67%, thumbs up 33%. So most people, at least among people who follow us, not too happy with this finish, it seems. Got a couple of comments and replies here as well. 5 actually, so 2.5 couples. But anyway, P. Muja from YouTube community says, they just found a new way for Roman to take the win. That's that. Obviously, Roman is not going to lose anytime soon, so any match until then will be predictable in the end. Jay Fortis said, he kept his brother from becoming Roman Reigns, Jimmy that is. If he becomes tribal chief, what happens to the tag team? Good point. Linator4, well, again, this is over on YouTube, said, Jimmy is the one who convinced Jey to leave the bloodline. It made no sense for him to turn heel again. They should have done this feud in 2021 when Jey was loyal to Roman and Jimmy had returned from injury. Roman could have manipulated the brothers into fighting each other until Jimmy eventually broke, fell in line, and acknowledged him. It's a really good storyline you've just booked there, and I kind of wish they did that. It's great. Goffies from Twitter has been on and said they are literally grasping at anything to keep the belt on Roman at this point, no matter how senseless it is. Glad I ended my subscription back at Mania when Cody lost. So, from that one, which is more critical, we're going to end on a more positive one for balance's sake, because 67, 68%, it's not all negative. William Austin 3 said, this new element offered more intrigue and hints at Roman and the wise man were right all along. The ending was painful to watch. My heart cried out for Jimmy. Wow, well done, WWE. So another comment amongst critics is that this is becoming a bit WCW, NWO-like, with the constant swerving for swerve's sake at the end of big Roman matches and the bloodline stuff. The weekly segments are obviously like extremely well received, but there's a bunch of people echoing the sentiment that these big matches always end in some kind of shenanigans and someone turning on someone, and those are the negative thoughts. People who are maybe standing up for this a bit more have pointed to the Usos being on Ariel Helwani's show recently and saying we want to wrestle each other at WrestleMania. So at least that would maybe explain why WWE went down this route. But I've also seen a bunch of people comment that they think this works because Jimmy is just tired of being propped up for the sake of Jay presenting himself as main event Jay and getting all these singles opportunities and all of that. So I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this whole thing a little bit in the Twitter questions at the end of this video, but it'll be interesting to see what this does objectively. Measurements like ratings and online buzz and YouTube clips and ticket sales, if it harms those, then it was the wrong decision. But if it stays over and interest levels remain as high as they have been throughout this astronomical storyline, then they've done the right thing, no matter how many valid, we should say, negative opinions are circulating online. There you go. Pretty interesting thing. I'm sure you've got an opinion on it, so sound off in the comment section below. Was this WCW? Was it great? Was it bad? Was it the perfect thing to build multiple stories? I think everyone has a different take on this, it seems, and there are a million of them. So I want to hear them all. Sound off down below, comment section. Let's move on to when Roman Reigns will finally lose the Undisputed Universal Championship. This is a Fightful Select report that dropped before SummerSlam. When's he going to lose it? Here's the quote from a WWE higher up. Whenever Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman say it effing ends. So when Roman finally drops the belt, he will have heavy input, as will Paul Heyman, on who it is to, whether that is soon or maybe even a year or two from now. The WWE higher up has a further quote here saying they are constantly looking at every possibility, whether they think it's the best thing for business, they'll know to switch it up, do it right, and really make someone doing it. Now, there weren't any active plans for Roman to drop the belt as of WrestleMania 39. It was never seriously considered. Sami wasn't going to win it, Cody wasn't going to win it at that juncture, and Jay wasn't going to win it. None were heavily planned or scheduled to win the title. We obviously learned about Jay not winning it last night. Cody Rhodes is understood to have known well ahead of Mania that he wasn't winning it there. Now the justification for this stance is that they believe Roman is hotter than ever. Solo Sikoa is about to be able to draw real money. Jey Uso has become a legitimate attraction. Jimmy Uso is about to become a legitimate attraction. Guess that's probably what they were trying to do last night. And Cody Rhodes is, in their belief, hotter now than he was before WrestleMania. I think that last one's probably the most contentious of those points, but interesting to consider nonetheless, and kind of confirms that Roman and Paul Heyman are extremely influential when it comes to this storyline. We've known for years that Paul Heyman has a hand in big time stories in WWE and what he specifically is doing on screen, whether it was with Brock Lesnar, now it's with Roman, of course. He's done stuff with Ronda Rousey during her first run. So yeah, he's an extremely influential figure creatively in this company. He's got a hand in the most successful storyline in years, the best long running storyline in WWE in a long ass time. So perhaps they've earned that right to be able to go, this is when we're ending it against this person in this way. Other side of the argument might be that maybe they're putting a bit too much power in the hands of the people who are at the heart of this storyline. That's not to say that Roman Reigns is going to politic like prime Shawn. I mean, he might politic like prime Shawn Michaels. I guess we'll find out. For me, Cody Rhodes at Mania next year is still the end of the story, still the way to go, but we'll see how it pans out. Anyway, if you want to see how future videos pan out, thank you for subscribing to the channel, and if you've not done it already, click that button. We really do appreciate it. That was a really rough segue, but hey, let's talk about now the huge unplanned moment at SummerSlam. Was it a botch? Was it something else? Was it a production error? No, it was a handshake and a show of respect. Cody Rhodes finally felled Brock Lesnar in just decisive fashion. After all they've been through, after all the beatdowns, after all the kind of edged finishes, Cody beat Brock last night. Hey, good for him. And afterwards, there was a rare moment where Brock Lesnar not only shook Cody Rhodes' hand, but raised his arm in a show of respect. Wow, that's unlike Brock Lesnar. Remember the last time he tried to be Cody's friend and he beat him up on Raw and he started this whole feud in the first place? I thought that was going to happen again and we're going to get another match from these gentlemen. But no, it was a very good match and a fun way to wrap things up. Triple H has revealed at the post-show press scrum that this was unplanned. Okay, just completely off the rip. Here's what he said. I heard Cody say he hadn't digested or had enough time to digest the Brock Lesnar moment after their match. Completely unplanned, completely in the moment. He goes on, name the amount of people that Brock Lesnar has gotten up after going through a match like that, shook their hand and pulled them in to hug them before walking out. I know Brock, I work with him all the time. That was a holy moment for me. So it's just one of these cool things that happens on screen that isn't rigidly scripted, planned, meticulously created and crafted to generate a reaction. It's real, it's organic. And Brock Lesnar obviously decided, hey, this would be a really cool thing to do that's going to lift the guy that I've just put over up. Totally selfless move. And cool to see from Brock. It'll be interesting to see if that factors into his direction now. Are they going to, after this show of respect, go back to fun farmer babyface Brock tipping the ring and smiling and wearing goofy clothes and all of that stuff? Or is he just going to stay an absolute killer because it was unplanned and it wasn't a product of something the creative team did? Let's find out. Sure, we'll have more to come from him. We're going to close on a former WWE champion who is returning to the company very soon. It's Kairi Sane. This came out of nowhere, but PW Insider reporting on Saturday, today is Sunday, Andy, that Kairi Sane will be back in WWE soon. It could be imminent as soon as this coming week. She's come to terms on an agreement with WWE already. Now, there's no word on what plans WWE might have for Kairi, but we can obviously speculate on that and go, hey, Asuka probably needs some help right now. They were tag team partners before. Maybe they'll go down that route, or maybe they'll do something completely different. Now, Kairi, of course, left WWE a few years ago. Shortly after getting married, she was returning to Japan, be with her husband. Who can begrudge her that? But she did remain, for a while at least, with the company in an ambassadorial kind of role. I think that ended after a while, but she was wrestling in Stardom. She's wrestled on New Japan shows, including the Tokyo Dome this year. She's done a couple of indie shots as well, Kairi has, and she's obviously a wonderful, wonderful pro wrestler. She's not kept the busiest schedule since leaving WWE, probably like 10, 15 matches a year, something like that. I've not looked it up to check for sure, but some very, very high level stuff, particularly in Stardom. Her Mayu Iwatani match is worth checking out if you've not seen it in particular. Most of them are worth checking out, but that one specifically. And be interesting to see what she does back in WWE. I think one of the great baby faces of her generation, just a fantastic pro wrestler, someone I love to watch, and I've loved her in Stardom, so I'll probably enjoy her in WWE as well. Generally, when you enjoy watching something, you like it across multiple companies, unless the creative's bad. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll be good. Let's move over to Twitter now for your questions, and understandably, we're going to focus on SummerSlam. I can't come here and talk on what's next for Rick Boogs or something, can I? So, shouts to Rick Boogs. I love that guy, no shade. Felix Johnson has been on saying, is dragging Jay versus Jimmy to Mania the plan, or do they bicker and make up before then, while we could watch Sammy and Kevin fall apart? I can see Sammy and Kevin falling apart as well, but independent of that, yeah, I do think that Jimmy and Jay are going to get to WrestleMania. I think that comment to Ariel Helwani about wanting to face each other was quite telling, and WWE have obviously split them up now. Maybe they'll get back together after that match. It's obviously a long way to go, like 8-9 months, however long it is. We'll see what the creative does, but, you know, the Bloodline saga has been a money-drawing, attention-drawing storyline for WWE throughout. There's no real reason for me to doubt it now, so I won't do that because I'm not a grump. But yeah, that looks to be what kind of route they're going down. Maybe they'll have matches before then, leading up to like a blow-off match at WrestleMania. We'll see how the whole thing goes. I'm sure there'll be some intrigue heading into this week's episode of SmackDown that they'll advertise and boost, and it'll probably do a really good rating. Yeah, there you go. Jimmy and Jay feuding all over the place. Tyler Fields. Shouts to Tyler for sending the dog photo over. Shouts to Teddy as well. Legend. Good morning, Andy. Hope your Sunday is going well. Me and Teddy would like to know, given the results of SummerSlam last night, do you see Roman versus Solo in the future? possibly as a Royal Rumble title match. Have a great day. I think that's exactly where they're going, yes. Obviously, Solo catching strays in the match. He took the shot from Roman. Later on, they were bickering a little bit. And then we got the whole deal with Jimmy and Jay. So they've been teasing tension with Solo basically since he arrived in one way or another. And it's been a big kind of intrigue point over this whole thing. I think the comment in the second story we did today from the WWE higher up saying Solo's going to be drawing money soon. That's quite telling. Royal Rumble's probably the perfect place to do that title match, particularly if Cody's going to face Roman at Mania. I think it makes all the sense in the world, and if the creative stays strong after this controversial move at SummerSlam, they will be on to another big win. Our final question of the day comes from David, who asks, in the SummerSlam main event, did WWE make the right choice in the tribal combat match with Jimmy screwing Jay, or would it have been better for it to have had a dusty finish? So a dusty finish would be outcome and then a restart, so you could have had Jay winning, but then the referee noticing something, and then Roman wins, and it just breaks your damn heart. So, two answers. Objectively, if interest levels stay as high as they have been, and ticket sales are still popping, and the ratings are great, and the YouTube numbers and engagement levels are good, then they have made the right decision because people are into it. And it sounded in the arena last night like people were very much into this. I wasn't there, I don't know for sure. Maybe if you're at the show you can let us know. But watching on TV, sounded like it was received the way it was supposed to be. Subjectively, for me, was this the right thing to do? No. Personally, not. Look, I'm not mad at it. I'm not sitting here getting all raging and pulling what's left of my hair out, which is very difficult because it's like a kiwi fruit, but I don't know if this was the right route to go down. For me, it did have shades of like the dying years, really, of the NWO, where it was swerves on swerves on swerves on swerves, and Russo level booking and everything else. The caveat to that is that that kind of booking killed another company, while this one is very strong and is doing its best business revenue wise of all time. So, it's nowhere near as drastic or harsh or anything like that. I would have preferred a different finish, and I think the Jay Dusty finish would have been a very effective way to sow heartbreak without needing to go to this level. Also have some reservations about splitting the Usos up. I think that when you have Roman hospitalize Jimmy and have him come back and all of this, yeah, you can go down the route of Jimmy going, hey, you used me to prop yourself up, Jay. I agree, you could do that, but for me, maybe just one swerve too many. Sometimes in wrestling, there is too much unpredictability, and it kind of becomes what's a big squiggly thing? I don't know, like an eel of swerves, and it's a bit much. Sometimes you need to be a bit more predictable. For me, personally, you can disagree, it's totally fine. But hey, thank you for joining me today. If you like this video, you're gonna love this one, probably. I'll see you soon.